Okay, so under reasonable suspicion, a cop has a lot of power, and it's a really wide defined, uh, like, system, technique, idea, uh, just a tool that they can use in their favor. Okay, reasonable suspicion. So you can just rely on a call from a total anonymous stranger. You could just roll up on some person and just say you have that you don't even, I don't think you even have to to articulate really well that the person is suspected of committing a crime. I mean, people are talking about the cop has to give articulable suspicion on a crime that's about to be committed, but this is reasonable suspicion, not probable cause. Okay, and reasonable suspicion and articulable, or to articulate your suspicion, sound like the same thing. And I mean, a cop could just say anything that they feel like. It doesn't, and they don't even have to say anything really. The past two incidents that occurred for me that have led to some bad cop interactions was the first one who arrested me, McIntosh, was like 2 days. I'm like, what's the crime? 2 days. That's it. That's all he said. And then this latest guy, whatever his name is, he said there's children nearby. Okay, that's good enough. That's reasonable suspicion. The caller, how many reasonable suspicions do you need? Okay, how many reasonable suspicions do you need? The caller said, my car was parked in the parking lot overnight, and the city has an ordinance against that. Reasonable suspicion. They got that covered. Now that gives them power to demand ID, which is a legal thing under Utah versus Strieff 2016, this year. All right, so they could demand ID. They can pat you down. All right, for stuff. It looks like they could search you pretty much, but they could detain you. All right, they can detain you, demand ID, and ask you stupid questions. All right, under reasonable suspicion. All right, this Utah versus Strieff, which is ruled under the Supreme Court, which is federal law, not just state law. Okay, I was under the impression that Utah was trying to secede from the union, but the union made this rule with Utah versus Strieff. All right, the union. This is nationwide. This affects every state in the country. That the cops have all this power under the reasonable suspicion, which is really nothing. Oh, there's children nearby. You got that color on your skin. It's, there's a tendency. It's profiling. It's racial profiling. It's profiling your location. Oh, I don't know what else. Oh, I got Washington plates. Maybe I'm smoking some weed. The dog alerted. That's the dog alerting's not probable cause. That's reasonable suspicion. Because what these dogs fail so much that they just don't have it in them to have enough effectiveness to be considered probable cause. So they have to be reasonable suspicion. But you bump up the power of reasonable suspicion, then the dog alerting is as good as anything. It's as good as saying, I don't know. Let's see, what else? Just you're parked in the wrong place at night. Okay, I've been parked in Goodwill parking lots at midnight. Have cops come by. That's reasonable suspicion to demand ID. A lot of my incidents have been just being parked overnight, but then that leads to other things. That gives them the power. It gives the cops the power to search for my search my stuff, search everything for drugs under reasonable suspicion. And then if they could find something, then probable cause comes into play. All right, but everything is forgiven. All their actions is forgiven thanks to Utah versus Strieff, because with Utah versus Strieff, they had a caller just say, "Hey, I think this dude's doing something. Check him out." And then the cops go there, and then the caller could just point out a certain area and say this area is suspicious. And that's reasonable suspicion. The cops have the power to detain everybody in that area, to demand ID, pat them down, search them, and there's the power right there. And then if they find something, then they have probable cause to ticket, to make arrests, to make charges, to make the money for the government that supports them. Reasonable suspicion has really been bumped up in power. Okay, and that's amazing to me. But I mean, it for me, I think it should go both ways. I should be able to walk up to a cop and demand their ID, saying, "I suspect you of impersonating a cop." Okay, it really, they're working under this color of law with their guesswork a lot, anyway. So why can't it go both ways? But it should go both ways even more than that. We should be able to wear the bulletproof vests. I mean, there's little actions that I take that really get serious reactions from cops, and it's getting scary. All right, I have no protection against this, but there's so many laws in place to keep that difference between cops being able to walk around with these bulletproof vests and the sidearms, and just have more military options than the public. All right, they're in a different class. All right. So yeah, reasonable suspicion is a powerful thing that's gotten more powerful, and it could continue to get more powerful. It seems like it's being powered by the drug war, by trying to get drugs off the streets and all that. There's just such a strong push for going after individuals and ticketing individuals, because it's easier to ticket individuals. I mean, we don't really have lawyers. We cave in. If you go after the manufacturers, they got a whole army of lawyers to fight you, and they can litigate and deceive a lot easier than the individual. The addict. The addict is weak. Okay, people are addicted, and there are a lot of weak Americans right now, especially with the sugar trade. The sugar extracts have gone unregulated for far too long, and it continues to. Anybody who's addicted to sugar is definitely definitely a stepping stone to being addicted to drugs. But the laws don't know exactly how to deal with it in a proper way. They just go after the individual, and me, I'm considered to have a mental problem, and I probably am addicted to drugs. Like the cop said, I probably had something in previously. What's that going to lead to? All right, they're suspicions. They're what they consider reasonable suspicions, which it's not exactly common belief what's considered reasonable. But he said I may have previously had drugs in my car. Well, if I did that, then that's going to lead to them wanting to maybe get urine tests, blood tests from me. whatever they can do. If they're going to say they reasonably believe I previously had it, what's the reasonable suspicion? The belief in the crime that I was about to commit a crime, or that a crime happened. I had drugs previously, but maybe now I've consumed them, or whatever. A crime has happened, is about to happen, is currently happening. Reasonable suspicion, very broad, and just a cop could just walk up to you and say, "I think you may have committed a crime. You're committing a crime, or you're about to commit a crime." It's you're about to commit a crime. Like they're gonna just predict you're with your behavior. All right, they don't have to say your race, but I mean, just aggressive behavior, the way you're dressed, your behavior. You're about to commit a crime. I'm gonna need to ID you, pat you down, detain you, and all that. Pretty much a warrant fishing operation. It's something else. I'm just rambling on and on about this. It's something else. All right, I put up some resistance to it because I think it's really unfair. Because I'm gonna continue to get bugged by these guys. Because I know I'll make mistakes parking in the wrong spot in a small town again. I'll do that. I mean, I'm not perfect in where I park. I just can't figure out the exact perfect spots to park. The perfect spots to park are the ones that cost money. All right, which I don't have. So I'm pretty much, by not having money to park in the legal spots that cost money. All right, I put myself into reasonable suspicion category, which cops will do all that crap to me, which, it's picking on the poor people. All right, but the poor people can do some fighting back, especially with videos. I find it interesting when these cops, they demanded in the first video of in Hiram. If you search Hiram Travis Hines, that'll come up, because I don't have many videos of Hiram, Oregon. You see that they tried to get the upper hand, and they felt like maybe we're on equal footing. I don't think I got the upper hand in that interaction, but they may have felt that they didn't get enough of an upper hand on me, and then they went to search my car, and overall, in a way, I prevailed because I profited off of it. I profited off of those interactions. And if cops want to keep acting like they are and doing this stuff, more people should really record that, because other people will watch, and then you'll profit off of it. You'll not only profit off of it, but you'll get the word out, you'll spread the message that these cops are acting like this, and you give them a bad reputation, and people will, if you got to name who these cops are too, you got to name the location you're at. Otherwise, it's just so generic. It's practically a worthless video. You got to put the details in. Yeah, it's a little scary to do that. It's a little intimidating, especially if you live in the area and you keep seeing this cop, because they can possibly harass you in ways. That's the thing. That's how court procedures work, though, is to harass you, to instantly to scare you and intimidate you with these big fines and retribution and all this stuff. It's really intimidating. You got to overcome that, but maybe it takes the strong to help pull the weak out of these situations. It takes strong people and brave people who are willing to post these cops' information to show you what kind of retribution will come for you. Yeah, there's that potential, but it doesn't always come. But if you're like me and you move around a lot, I'm out of that jurisdiction now. I have no problem keeping those videos up. If I lived in that jurisdiction, if I lived in Hiram, if I had a house there, then that would be interesting. All right, because I would be scared to step out off my property. All right, so that's a unique situation with that. All right, it's one of the valuable things about moving is if you wanna fight the cops, you're gonna have a strong fight. But if you move around like me, you know, I'm running away from the fight, but I'm running into new fights, which, you know, because I make mistakes where I park, so it's a different situation there.